Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much indeed for another great webinar here. This time it's by Shilpa. Love Monday, Free by Friday. I just want to know all about it today. And as you can see, it's enabling entrepreneur to live their extraordinary life and create outstanding results. I just want to introduce Shilpa quickly. Do you have an introduction for yourself, Shilpa, or do I introduce you?
I'm a true entrepreneur. I have a whole slide on myself.
Okay, perfect. So let's do that. Let's do that. Thank you, Shilpa. Just a quick one in terms of housekeeping. Guys, you know what the procedure is when the webinar is over. Please send me your feedback as well as your name for the certificate attendance. And I can't thank Shilpa enough for giving back her time, her wisdom, and to ensure that we all obviously live a really good life going forward. Shilpa, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to all the participants attending. Take it away. Thank you very much indeed.
Anil, my thanks to you for inviting me. I've been a business owner for 24 years. I know how challenging it's been, and it's been so important to be able to support other entrepreneurs. And those of you that are not entrepreneurs yet or in the process, I'm going to give you lots of tips which are going to help you in your roles. So welcome everyone. And I'm going to talk about business owners here today. And we all know that when business is good, it's booming. And it's like ships sailing the sea. But the minute the tide goes out, they're left high and dry. When you've been carried away along the marketplace and that it dries up and your business dries up, you're just not in control of your destiny. Anyone can be successful when the market's up. The challenge, guys, is to be successful when the picture looks bleak. So today, we've got an hour and a half together. I'm grateful for your time. I know how important it is. I'm going to share with you some proactive strategies that you can take that places control back into your hands, even when the tide goes out. They're talking about a word recession now. So let's beat it. If you know how to be strategic, if you know how to grow and sustain great high profit clients, and if you know how to capitalize on the shortcomings of your competitors, you continue to make money over the climate, whatever the climate is. So if you're stuck, I'm going to help you today to get unstuck. We've got some questions. I'm going to give you some ideas on that. And over the next hour and a half, I'm going to share a few of the strategies to do just that. I'm going to show you a lot of examples, a variety of business. I'm going to go fast. It's really very fast. And most of them are business to consumer, B2C. But listen, principles are the same for any business. And at the end of this, if you get a ton of value with my strategies and you want to dive deeper into the specifics of your business, I'm also going to provide you a means to look at your specific business in more depth. So guys, we're going to go fast, and to get through the agenda, I may not cover everyone's questions. However, I'm really accessible all over social media. Feel free to jump in and have a conversation with me. It's absolutely no problem. And, in life, we have to do a lot of forgiveness. So I'm asking for forgiveness today if I mess up on my presentation, because I am learning how to use a seminar setup today. Here we go. I'm already ahead. So we're here. A little bit about me. I do nothing.
So we can't see. Did you move the slide, Shilpa? Did you go next?
Yeah, I did.
It's not moving.
It's not moving. Okay.
Maybe click on the PowerPoint and then it will move.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I think we've got a different setup, Anil. Okay. We said forgiveness was important. How else can we do this, Anil? Can you give me a pause and give me 30 seconds to
Yes, no problem at all. That is just also why Shilpa is figuring out. Did you get the workbook? If you've got the workbook from me, just a quick hands up on your emoji if you've got the workbook. So we will be going for the workbook as well. I can see some of you already raising your hand. Fantastic. I will also try to download the workbook on the chat while we're waiting for Shilpa to sort this out. So just give me 1 minute. I'll see if I can get to the workbook now. Let me just check the workbook. You will see the workbook being shared with you. Right, let's just see. Oh, perfect. The workbook is on its way. Okay, so I just need to close it and then just do the workbook. Okay, so you'll be seeing, you will see the workbook to everyone. I'm going to do that again.
Right, I'm going to come out of presenter mode because I just can't make it work, Anil.
Okay, everyone. Yeah, no problem. You just sort it out. I've just got the workbook to everyone. So all of you, if you can download the workbook, please, from your side, because we will be going through that one. So Shilpa, try to stop sharing and reshare your screen.
Reshare my screen. Okay.
Yeah, at the moment we can see the front slide with the photo, and then reshare again.
Okay, just bear with me. Apologies, guys.
No problem at all.
So technically unsavvy. I've got used to going back in the room again and forgotten how to have a setup. Okay.
And then just do reshare again. I think everybody's got the turbocharge your business workbook. It's a great business book. I read it this morning, but we will be going through those. So let's see if Shilpa can now share the screen. Perfect. It's coming up. And then if you can just go,
I have the full presentation now.
If you can just go for full slide now. Yeah. Perfect.
Yep, we're in.
It's coming up. It's not gone on full slide yet, but we can see like your little slide on the left-hand side of the screen.
Okay, I'm going to do a new share, guys.
Yeah, try that again.
And I'm very grateful for your.
It's not a problem. Colleagues are coming in anyway, so it's fine. It's perfect.
We're all used to technical difficulties. And do we have full screen now?
Yes, perfect. Try to use the arrow right and left to see if it's moving.
Okay, my arrows have disappeared.
On your keyboard.
My keyboard will work. Okay, Anu, let's go without full screen. Let's go without full screen.
Yeah, let's go without it.
That's going to be the best way for me, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And it's the only way I can seem to get it right. The more technology you have, the harder it is.
Okay, let's try this. Go escape again.
So I'm here.
Yeah, we can't see. Still, we're seeing the big slides with the front slide.
Okay, where are you
now?
now?
Perfect. This is good. So you could do this. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So guys, I'm not going to take too much time and talk about myself, but I do one thing and one thing only. And this sort of shares a little bit about me. I'm Shilpa Panchmatia. I'm a profit acceleration strategist. And I've also done 2 books. And one of them, which is the title of today's talk, Love Monday and Free Friday. It's all about putting in systems, because we entrepreneurs, we business owners, people that we so love our lives and our work. We love Mondays. You know, people say, oh, it's Monday, but I know you guys probably say, hey, we get up on Monday, but we get raring to go to work. We've had time away from our business. We want to get right back into it. So make the most of Mondays, have systems, strategies, structures in place where you actually have a fabulous day. And if you want, take Fridays off. Life is more about than work. Enjoy, have experiences, do things that are on your bucket list, spend time with the people that you love, hug your family, your children, whatever it is that makes you happy, whatever's your jam. So I'm not going to spend my entire history, but I wasted a lot of my own time, guys, doing marketing, business development wrong. And I want to help you avoid these mistakes. I spent a ton of money just to get prospects to my own website and converted none. I've wasted a lot of money of ads, a lot of expensive money on ads. And my marketing messages were filled with the same lame junk my competitors said. It happens. I failed to realize that success comes from working a system for managing profitable growth and not just chasing the top line turnover like most businesses do. So the principles that I'm going to share with you today actually work for all businesses. I have a client in a high wireless technology business, and when we started, he had a turnover of 800K. A year later, he reached 1.5 million. That's in a year. And if it wasn't for COVID, we'd be aiming for 3 million. He might not make it, but it's still growing using these principles. Guys, there are lots of space for questions, so just bear with me and keep them. I see you've raised hands and there's questions in there. And if you get really serious of understanding the potential potent concepts I'm going to share with you today, success is going to be with yours in a very thrilling, exciting way. So today's game plan.
Shilpa, just a quick one. I just wanted to ask you a quick question. When you put the Love Monday, Free Friday title, I was amazed because we don't love Mondays. Nobody else does. How did you come up with Love Monday? I mean, Friday's fine. We're happy. We might free ourselves. But how did you came up with a Love Monday theme?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So it was, everything in business, I always say research, and I do the same thing. And I think it started off being called Don't Work Fridays, because I personally don't like to work Fridays. I like to go to the beach when it's not raining here in London. I like to travel, I like to read, I like to lunch, I like to have cocktails. And it's very important that you live life and you spend your life doing things that you want. But people were saying that actually doesn't sound good, because not everyone in this post-COVID world who have a hybrid workplace don't work Fridays. They also take maybe midweek off. So it's a lot of research, and we realized that actually entrepreneurs, they love Mondays because they're raring to go back. They've had a break. We're always on fire. So it just worked out. Love your Mondays and keep Friday free. Work it to a system that you've got time off in your life.
And one thing I wanted to ask you, on the agenda, we had everything you know about marketing is wrong. Surely we are not.
I'm going to come into that.
Okay, take it away.
Yeah. All right. So today's game plan, I'm just going to take you through actionable strategies that actually work, and you can move in your business straight away. You've got a workbook, guys. Use it. If you're like me, and I know it says coronavirus pandemic, it's exactly the same thing. And if you're like me, you like to save paper, put it on your laptop, put it on your iPad, and work through it again. And is there anything specific you guys want me to go through today that I can, anything specific in chat?
Guys, just anything, on the Q&A, if you would like to just put anything, whatever you've come here today, and it's great to see all of you. Anybody want to have anything to share in particular that you are struggling with, or maybe because we've got an international business coach with us today. It's a free 1 hour 30-minute session. Anything you like. I've got a few questions I'll pick up later, but let's see where the question comes in, Shilpa. But take away the presentation.
I'm going to be quite fast, okay? But in this time, I'm going to, at the end of this 90 minutes together, I am going to make sure that you've got a road plan that you can work on your business. It's actually real, and if you're not seeing results now, then you can fill up your pipeline with prospects straight away. So we're going to work on these 7 areas: goals, more leads, sales, increasing the number of sales you have, increasing prices, exploding profits. And if there's time, and maybe it's applicable to some of you, licensing, franchising, what you do, because that's a fabulous way to actually make growth. And I promised you, I'm showing you examples and opportunities to make better money in your business. Stephen Covey, we've all heard of him. He says, begin with the end in mind. Everyone starts with setting goals and figure out how to manage their time to complete their goals. Big mistake. We're going to work on the other 6 areas first. You know why? Because only then, after you've mapped out what needs to happen in these 6 areas, can you begin to formulate goals, establish a roadmap, and plan adequate time for their implementation and their completion. So we've all heard of the 80-20 rule. And what does the 80-20 rule say? It says that 20% of what you do every day is generating 80% of your total annual revenue. This is one of the 2 premises that I want to show you about business growth, and very much part of my philosophy and my strategy for business growth. And you're only doing a few things daily that make up most of your money. And if you think about your own businesses and think about how many clients you have that make up your profit, and do you have one client that gives you the majority of your profit? Do you have a certain channel which gives the majority of your leads? So it's actually a great way for you to start thinking differently about your business and how you're working it. I'm going to jump into the profit growth calculator. This is a really interesting example that if you look at different areas of your business, we all measure. I know you do, all of you. Put your hands up. Yes, you do. You measure leads, conversions, transactions, higher prices, and your gross profits. And let's say I take a business and they have annual leads, their baseline of 1,000 leads every year, and they convert 25% of those leads, and they have 10 more transactions there. And this is my baseline figure, which is in the boxes. And they have a price of £1,000 for that product. And their profit on there is 25%. So annually, they're making, I've done it in pounds, £625,000. And I'm talking about how incremental growth actually makes a difference in business. And that's the premise of what I'm talking about today. I know I'm sharing those 6 to 8 strategies. Now, say this business, and think about it in your business, guys, increases just by 10%. It's not difficult to put 10% increase in these areas that we talked about. 10% more leads. So if you're getting 1,000 leads, you just want 100 more leads. 10% more conversions. 10% more transactions. That means the business that you're already doing, how can you transact more? How can you have more sales with that one customer? How can you have more sales with that one community or that influence of sphere? How can you increase that just by 10%? And that makes a massive impact on your profit. And just look at the figures. You're going from £625,000 to just over £1 million. And that's just 10%. That's quite phenomenal. Now, say you worked on your businesses individually, massively yourself, and you jumped it by 50%, okay? Yes, I know that takes time, 50%. Look at the figures there. That jumps you up to just over £4 million. That's with 50%. So from just over £500,000 to just over 4 million. I think that's quite significant. If you notice and understand the impact you actually have in your fingertips, your hands, and in your lifetime to make a difference in your business. This always throws me every time I show this slide, and more so when I demonstrate it, that you can transform your business by over 660%. It's quite exciting to see that you can make these things happen. So I'm going to go through how we could go through several breakthrough strategies that have been used by the world's top business coaches in these 5 areas. How do we generate all the leads your business can handle? How can we have more conversions? How can we have more transactions? How can we increase our prices? I get it. That's actually a sticky one, because who wants to increase prices and lose clients? I know that's a sticky one, but I'm going to show you some ideas today that are going to make a difference. And ultimately, how do we make more money? Because as business owners, what do we want? We want more money in our back pocket. We don't want to just focus on our revenue, but we actually want to make an impact on our bottom line, our profit, and ultimately the amount of money that we take home. So just sticking to chat, guys, how are you generating leads today? Put it into the chat box for me.
Okay, so anybody, if you want to just put on Q&A, just quickly, just put you on the spot there. How are you generating those revenues? It could be anything, guys, and just if you can just put anything, how are you generating those money? I mean, you can be, obviously, you might have a full-time job plus a 7 job as well, or I know most of you are entrepreneurs as well. If you can use the Q&A just to put the thing there. Anybody, there's no stupid answers or any other.
Most people generate their leads through website, word of mouth. Many do active campaigns, whether it's leaflet drops, depending on the type of business, whether it's campaigns on Facebook, Instagram. There's so many different channels. And vast majority of people, I think you'll notice, spend a lot of time putting a lot of their time onto getting business from their website. And if you know how many leads your website generates from you each month, it's really important. Because let me tell you something, most business owners don't. And I want to show you why your website isn't generating leads or sales for you. In fact, let me share with you the keys to successful marketing. The number one mistake business owners make is selling their products and services rather than solving a client problem. Just remember this. It's all about them and not about you and your service. That's a really important consideration.
Just a quick one, Shilpa. We've got one question. Bianca, how does she generate? She's a chartered quantity surveyor from South Africa, and she says networking.
Yeah, Bianca, networking is a phenomenal opportunity, but often I think networking is very much spray and pray, because you meet a whole bunch of people, you spend an afternoon, sometimes a day, you have those touch points with them, but you never know if they're directly coming to you for that business, that you are able to serve their business. I mean, I'm assuming that you will go to property networks, but it's a fantastic way. But I wonder if we can get more businesses that people are looking for our services and specifically looking for a quantity surveyor and utilize digital marketing. But I'll definitely talk about networking today, Bianca. Thank you very much for that. So, you know, we talked about effective marketing and why it's not about them when we talk. It is all about them and not about you and your services. And that's the number one mistake that we make. We're selling products and services rather than solving the client's problem. So it's really important that when you do your marketing, and this is where networking comes into support and help, is that you must enter the conversation taking place in the head of your prospects. Or another way to look at this is you must be able to address the number one question in your prospect's mind just at the right time. This is true of everything in life, isn't it? Whether we're in a meeting, whether we're selling something, whether we're having a dinner party, everyone's thinking, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? So always think about how to enter the conversation taking place in the head of your prospects. So how do you do this? It's actually quite simple when you know and understand the fundamentals of marketing. The conversation that takes place in every prospect's mind revolves around two major points. Number one, there's a problem the prospect has and doesn't want. And two, there's a result the prospect wants but doesn't have. Let me say that again because it's really important. There's a problem the prospect has and doesn't want. And there's a result the prospect wants but doesn't have. And your proposition, whether it's in networking, whether it's on the internet, whether it's through flyers, with direct mail, a lot of people are going back to doing prospecting through postcards because it's interrupting them. Your proposition has to answer a question already on a prospect's mind. Yes, provide a solution or a result that's big enough, tangible enough, and desirable enough that'll compel them to want to take the action. You see, most businesses don't do any of that, of course. They just display their products, services, about them, etc., on the website. Now, believe it or not, if you do not know what your problem your prospects are trying to solve, there's actually a marketing formula that takes these 2 points into account and spits out messages so powerful and compelling that your prospects will come to the conclusion that they would be an absolute idiot not to buy from anyone else but you. How exciting is that? That if you can actually come to a situation whereby your prospects come to you and they want to buy from you because you've made it so easy for them to buy from you. Yeah. Isn't that really one of the key elements of all business? And here is the conversion equation that I talked about. Anil, were you going to say something?
No, I'm just going to say, yeah, you've just hit it on the nail. I love it. And I think many agrees as well. And just quickly, I think at the back of your questions, there's Dubri Raj says, how do you generate the service? He goes on to say about quality and after sales services. That's where you generate the revenue. And then next up, there's Anna, not a question, but thank you for this opportunity of the presentation today already.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for that. And quality of service is paramount, because when we have the quality of service, we become what I call market dominating in whatever we do. People want to come to us. How often have you seen that architect, that quantity surveyor, that builder, they have preeminence? Why? because they've got that quality of service, they've got that brand, they meet the needs of their customer, and people want to go to them. And this is what I talk about, that if you can create a formula that allows you to outmarket, outsell your competition, we're actually halfway there in doing business, isn't it? The rest of it is just deliverable. So the conversion equation that I talk about is very simple. We marketeers use this, ad agencies use this, but why can't we small business owners use it? And it looks like this. It's called interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. The interrupt is your marketing headline, which means it's the first thing someone says when they land on your website. If they see any of your marketing collateral or hear you speak, it must address the problem your prospects have they don't want. When you understand the problems that your prospects have that they don't want, you are just speaking their language. And then the engage is also the subheading or the explanation that you do. It's the second thing they see. And the education is the information you provide, either verbally or in writing, that presents evidence to your prospects that you and your product or service are superior in every way to your competition. Unfortunately, most businesses aren't different from their competitors. You all know this, yeah? There's so many platitudes in business. We've been in business 30 years. We give the best service. We are known the most. We cover the most area. What does it really mean? It's not hitting the problem that your customers are having. So when you can innovate in your business to create that market dominating position I'm talked about, you find a way of making your business unique. Something your competitor doesn't offer that you do, and is of course tremendous value to your customers. Stand out from the crowd. I show an example later. It must make your prospects say to themselves that they'd be absolute idiots not to buy from anyone else but you, regardless of price. People often think that price is the most important issue when buying. I think, and I teach all my clients, that it's the least, because guess what? People only work on price when they don't have value. Think of luxury cars, think of luxury hotels, think of well-known brands. They're often expensive, they're often premium, but the product's just the same. Forgive this example, ladies and gentlemen, but I was sharing the other day. And imagine buying a pair of knickers, a pair of underwear, and you have high-end Christian Dior at £75, and you have Marks and Spencer's at £25, and you have Primark at £13, £2.50. It's just a piece of clothing that we all need, an essential. But look at the price differences. And what is it that they do? Think about the differences in the marketing and the positioning, in how they've innovated and as products. And if we can think about how we can innovate our own businesses, then it really gives us a competitive advantage when we're working on this. Okay, now I've lost my slides completely. Well done, Shilpa. Here we go. So why is this conversion equation so important? It's because there's so much marketing these days that's saturated. You've got messages that are coming to you. So before, once upon a time, I'm giving away my grey hair ideas here, we would have TV and we would have newspapers. Today, we have internet, we have smartphones, we have digital kiosks. We're bombarded with content. We go on our phone, we've got all these messages and all these channels that we need to look at. How much can our brain handle? That's quite important. So it's a critical fundamental of marketing these days. You know, I was telling you, everything about marketing you know is wrong. And because of the saturation of marketing messages these days, most prospects have become numb to most marketing. Yeah. So following the conversion equation, a lot of people can overcome this. So I'm going to jump into the buyer's journey. And the buyer's journey, Anil, you probably see this in your own business. Yeah. When people come to you, you actually only have a prospect base of 1%. The 99% are actually buyers later. And it's those 1% that are actually looking at buying from you and what they can buy from you and why they should buy from you. Yeah. So that's quite interesting, the buyer's journey. Let me give you an example, okay? Here's a business, they're a claims form. And what they're saying is that we understand our clients' needs and focus on cost-effective solutions. It sounds nice, doesn't it? Sounds really nice. What does it mean, Anil?
Nothing to me. Yeah.
And then you've got the emergency assist number. Then you've got the call number. And this is their website. This is prime real estate, guys. So when people come to your website, make sure that what you show them is actually making a difference to them. So if you want to be the go-to journey that we talk about, then it's really important that you give them information that they can like and take away. So Bianca, as a quantity surveyor, what are the biggest problems that your business owners are going through, your clients are going through? They're probably wanting a good service. They probably want a specific service, and it's probably in a specific area. And they probably want to see that you've done this before at a cost, you've met the cost elements, you've met the budget, you've met the specifications. And there's a great opportunity here for you to meet the pain points of your business, so that your clients actually see where you're going. I know you have some questions for me?
Nothing yet. We're good to go. That's perfect.
Okay. You wanted me to take a break and not bore people, you said.
Let's do 5 more minutes and then we'll pick up some questions. We'll get to 7:10. Your time will be 4:10.
Okay. So
just a quick one. A quick one, Shilpa, on the insurance website where you say, what's the offer? I think many of us right now, and guys, I'd like you to participate as well, where it says, what's the offer? And we've got all these, beautiful wording about, insurance by need, but you just hit it on the nail. What does it mean? It's meaningless to the normal people, right?
Exactly. And this is another example of a chiropractor, yeah? And we see this everywhere. Health providers, chiropractors, we see it in the property sector a lot as well. Parenting advice and resources from Dr. John Smith. So he's got a nice little video of him. He's probably saying how wonderful he is. And he talks about specializing in all these areas. And he's got a free consultation. Who has time for these free we want to be in front of our clients. We want to say, I'll give you a free consultation. But what's the actual impact that this has? It's quite minimal, isn't it? But if we could take the opportunity of actually changing this around and saying that, if he created a market dominating position, and if you look back here, he's got all these different areas that he can specialize in. And if he picks one of them, we talked about a market dominating position and how to make it very specific and innovate and create an opportunity where you are different and working with clients. And he came here. And you can see that when you do this, say he starts with the top one he had there, and he talks about emotionally disturbed kids. And he says, are you sick and tired of the yelling, screaming, belligerent attitude of your child? Guys, we can all relate to these from children in the playground. And these are the kids that yell, scream, and have a lot of challenges. So if he created a website page like this, where he's actually got a market dominating position, where I talked about the interrupt headline, and then I talked about the subtitle, and is giving people an opportunity to connect with him. In the buyer's journey, 99% of people are not ready to buy from you. And these are the areas you can start thinking about and looking at to actually see what impact that makes on your business and how you can actually grow your business differently by meeting the needs of your customer, giving them the specific opportunity they need to do, and create a different opportunity. So this talks about the second fundamental. You must enter the conversation taking place in the heads of your prospects. There's a problem they have and don't want, and a result they want and don't have. So this is where we implement the first two components of the conversion equation: the interrupt and the engage. The interrupt,
so Shilpa, this is a right example, right? So
it's a live example.
But is this a correct one?
It's a correct one.
Because it's hitting it on the nail. It's telling you exactly what you need to know.
This is what it was before. Okay,
Right.
this is what it was, and that's where we all have. Everyone today has probably been guilty of this. That we've got a website that says everything that we do. We're so brilliant, and these are the services. How are we making that difference with people? We probably not. Whereas if we actually focus on specific areas, look at the
perfect.
Screaming, belligerent attitude. Do you think that addresses the problem these parents have? Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
They don't want them. Yeah. And now for the engage, which is the subheadline, which must address the result they want but don't have.
Yeah.
Now you can discover the secrets to controlling your child and instantly restore peace and quiet in your home. Pretty much the solution they're looking for. Now look at the third component, the educate. Here's the doctor's video. Yeah. It speaks about hundreds of articles and papers. Do you think that, you want to read that? I'm looking for a specific solution to a specific problem. That was the doctor's in the previous one I showed you. It talked about the hundreds of articles and papers. So we don't want that. We've got a problem, a specific problem we want a solution to. So guys, are you starting to see why most websites today are a total waste of money?
Absolutely.
They don't really address the problems your prospects are looking for or answers for. And we come to the final part of the equation, conversion equation, the offer.
And I also, Shilpa, just quickly, this Karuna on the Q&A tab, she goes on to say the second slide, which is the one you showed with the impact, is much more engaging in business, more direct, and solving problems. That, you know, I think we all do this mistake. We specialize in project management, mediation, specializing in X, Y, Z, when really it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, yeah. Project managers are probably the hardest people to buy because they do everything. They do everything, and they find it so difficult to sell their services. But if they came up with a specific service offering, you know, everyone says on time, on cost, and to your specification. But they came up with a specific offering and maybe even a guarantee that if I don't deliver, I'm giving you this guarantee. You become market dominating, as I talk about, and that really makes a difference, doesn't it? So going back to the original website had a free consultation. The only prospects that accept that type of offer are now buyers. Yeah, we talked about now buyers are 1% of the total prospects looking for this type of help. When the offer is to call me, it basically says, you're trying to sell to me. How many people have you seen that? Oh, let's jump on a call. No, I don't want to be sold to. So if we think of different language and different ways of working it, then it really makes a difference. The secret to effective marketing is to offer what they truly want. They want information to buy you. They want information to buy you. That's really what they want. So going back to the psychologist slide, which has been revisited, he's got an opportunity here to enter his first name. The consumer has the opportunity to enter the first name and email in the box. And then you can get a series of 60-second techniques that will immediately restore peace and quiet in your home. Learn the secrets to gaining and maintaining complete control of your child in 60 seconds or less.
Wow.
I think that's pretty effective. If you've got children that are challenging and you're a parent and you want to make a difference, then you're going to sign up for that. What are you doing? You're showing your consumers what you do, how you do it. How does this work in the property marketplace where we have a service which is only where you can actually really show? I think creating videos, creating white papers, creating information where you're showing how you're different, showing the quality and level of your service, we've identified that's such a major element. I think it can make a really massive difference. And guess what? It's a zero risk offer to the prospect, and it offers them something that they truly want. A solution to their problem. And guess what? They can get that solution to their problem without having to jump on a call, spend time, think, and feel scared they're going to be sold to. We all hate sales calls, but we want to make them. We want to have engagement with our potential prospects because it's really important. Don't you think that's a compelling offer?
Yeah.
I think it is. This information.
Also,
Go ahead.
Also, I can see Ayush Sibarat saying that this slide is more about specialization, and it's definitely going to convince more people. We've got John says, what is crucial is to know our ideal customer avatar, understand their pain and problems, and show them the benefit of our product and services and how this will help them solve their problem.
That's fantastic, John. When you can actually understand your customer avatar, and that can take a significant amount of time to do that, and you've understood the pain points, so I talked about how research is so important, and having the different types of avatars. You may have two different types of customers. You may sell to the commercial property market. You may also sell to the independent homeowner and have different types there. What is the buying philosophy of the customer? Really, really important to have and know that. So, if you're using your workbook, just write in there that, with these strategies, I help my clients select the problems they want to the solution to solve in the right niches to create a market dominating position.
And Shilpa, I'm just going to reshare the workbook to a colleague who I've joined slightly later.
Okay. Yeah.
Just make sure the workbook's going to be with them now. So yeah, that's in the chat box, guys. It's a free workbook worth a few pounds, but you're getting it for free from Shilpa today. Definitely make the best use of it. Thank you, Shilpa. That's been shared now.
Thank you. There's an opportunity in the workbook to actually write the profit impact and your ability to manage these skills. Because when we understand our ability in business, the thing with entrepreneurs and business owners is that we are jack of all trades. We have to do everything. We have to do accounts, we've got to sell, we've got to deliver, we've got to do strategy, we've got to do marketing. We forget how much of this we're unable to do. And when you actually understand what your ability to make a difference is in your own business, and you are realistic about your ability to perform that, you get an understanding of where your roadmap is, the roadmap that I talked about, and you get an understanding of the areas that you can focus on individually to make a difference. Incremental gains, remember. Sometimes you can double your business, and I've seen this with my own experiences. If you make a 2.6% difference, 2.6% difference in 15 areas in your business, just 15 areas, that's not a lot to double your revenue. So if you're already running a £500,000, £1 million business, you can double it quite fast just by focusing on these areas.
Yeah.
So this is the example of the wonderful doctor. And when he did this, he found that his leads base actually increased to 300 leads per month. He got a 20% increase for request for that conversation. And
wow.
He doubled his business, and he massively doubled his opportunity to earn money, which is what it's all about. You see, without a strategy, you are guaranteed to fail. And you must first have a strategy to attract clients to you and take them through a series of steps. And then select a strategy that works for the type of prospects you're trying to attract. So prospects with a problem they don't want. Work out what your strategies are. Work out how you are benefiting them and what the difference is in working with them. So I'm short of time today, so I do want to jump through this presentation. Forgive me if I go through, but write this in your workbook. The secret to generating more leads in the lead section is having something good to say. Solve a relevant problem. Say it well. Interrupt, engage, educate, offer. Say it often. Repeat it. And then, as I talked earlier, rate the relevance of this strategy to your business and your estimated proficiency to execute it successfully. I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds to let you catch up with that.
Just a quick one on this, Shilpa. When you say interrupt, engage, educate, offer, just one example out of the blues, what could it be? So if say you are you're doing as a pharmacist and you're selling tablets and things, like just medical, tablets and solutions. What would it be as interrupt? How do you interrupt?
You're really putting me on the spot there. It normally takes me quite a few hours to work with a client. But let's talk about my own business model. I'm a business coach, and there's a lot of business coaches in the world. It's become a popular profession. What's my interrupt? My interrupt often to clients is that I will find you £100,000 in your business in 45 minutes. What's the pain point of my clients? They want more business, they want more leads, they want more profit. What is the pain point? They don't know where to find that. So when I offer 45-minute consultation and I promise them £100,000, it works really well. Taking that forward, how do I dominate my marketplace? I show them that I will give them a roadmap in that given time period. And if they spend whatever they spend it with me in a year, invest in my coaching services, I promise them contractually that if we don't make that money in their business, I give them all their money back.
Wow.
And if the client's especially cautious, I double the money. But I have to know my business and I have to know what I can do to make those sorts of promises.
Wow.
But it just means that you dominate your market. It means that you take the risk out of your customers. People don't want risk. You want to mitigate the risk. It's a big issue in the construction industry. How do you mitigate risk? How do they buy your services without reputation, without an all-stars LinkedIn profile, without someone else telling them how good they are from a trusted sphere of influence? How do you build your own profile, your own positioning, so that people are buying you and you are that market dominating position and people come to you straight away?
Wow. I'm just thinking out loud. Obviously, most of us are in the construction industry. If I was to interrupt, I could say, obviously, thinking out loud, I'll be available Monday to Sunday.
So it goes against my ethos of work Monday to Thursday. But you could have access to people. If we're working in a world which is, different, it's hybrid. I think it's a great way. Someone from my team will be available to work with you Monday to Sunday. Or if you're doing proposals, we get across to you in 24 hours. What are the pain points in your business, Anil? What are the pain points? What are the challenges that your customers have? What do you hear all the time?
I mean, project management, you're dealing with numerous stakeholders all the time. I think one of the challenges currently is making sure you're on top of it. I mean, you've got to be on top of it all the time because the stakeholders want reaction and reporting very, very quickly nowadays because of the technology we've got.
So if you had procedure systems and systems in place, and or maybe some of it was automated, that gave them the reporting and you're on top of it and they could access it any time of the day. They don't have to pick up the phone to speak to someone, but they've got the baseline figures and information at their fingertips. I think they'd be pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to move on to another strategy. And this is actually a great opportunity for small business owners, because we small business owners, we can't really work in isolated bubbles, and especially in the construction industry, and go alone. The economy's shrunk, household incomes have dropped, and spending is lower, and the chances are that your market has shrunk too. You need better, faster ways to access customers who need your service. So one answer to get into your prospects fast, and I've seen businesses double, treble, quadruple with bringing in joint ventures, strategic endorsements, strategic alliance partners. So you guys work together in the construction industry as partners all the time. It's very easy because you're all working with physical end unit. But how can you create collaborations much more clearly and much more in tune with each other? And this is the bit I enjoy about joint ventures partnerships. And it's a strategy that I help my clients implement immediately, which provides them that instant cash flow for them almost immediately. Joint ventures are truly the fastest and safest and most flexible route to take. You can do it anywhere in the country and the world. You can do it in person, by the phone, Zoom, or by email. If you can bring an advantage to somebody, everybody wants more business, and I don't mean just more business. You can bring an advantage to somebody they've never had before, and you do all the work, but they stand to gain every week, month, and year. How many people will turn you down? Just make sure you have a win-win situation all around. You can use JVs for anything, but you don't need that. For anything, you guys don't need have to have access to. Now, I've shared 2 strategies to get more leads. I've 100 more in my Business Growth Academy: referral systems, networking systems, strategic endorsement partners, targeted email systems, advertising, PR, trade shows, webinars, the whole lot. And it gets quite exciting when you start looking at where you can make a difference here. So I'm just going to have a look very quickly as an example of the wedding industry here. And this is the typical chain of events, the vendors that come to when someone is getting married. You've got the ring, the planner, the chapel, the reception venue, the wedding dress, the florist, the wedding cake, and the printer. Now imagine the florist manages to speak to everyone above the florist, is perfectly positioned to refer business to the florist, and everyone below the florist is perfectly positioned to receive referrals from them. It becomes quite exciting that your sphere of influence is quite massive all of a sudden. So could the florist obtain just 1 referral each one from one of the businesses above them? I think they could. You have a conversation, you have a meeting, you give them an offer, that's all, just 1 a month. And could the florist send just 1 referral each month to each business below?
Absolutely.
Exactly. You know, for committed business owners, it's not too much. So using pounds again, the average sales price for the florist wedding flowers is £400. And just a single referral per month produces an annual increase of £4,800. That's pretty significant, I think. Yeah. I think that's quite significant. Now,
Shilpa, just for the audience, for them to pick up, guys, what Shilpa is saying, correct me, Shilpa, is anybody above the florist, i.e. the wedding planner, the church chapel, reception wedding, they will, the florist will benefit from them, right?
Yeah, they're benefiting because they're ideally placed. If you buy a ring, hey, couple, lovely couple, do you have flowers organized for your wedding? I've got a great florist, and here you are. I'm going to give you the results of this florist. The florist may have a referral scheme and give 10, 15, 20% of the value of the order. There's a big margin in flowers in England. The florist may have Amazon vouchers. The florist may have a bi-monthly lunch that the florist invites people to. But a referral strategy, which is actively making the business owner give active referrals. We often say, oh, if you know anyone, refer them to me. But remember what I said earlier? What's in it for me? Make it important that they recognize that there's something there. When you do a joint venture nicely and you do a win-win, oh my God, I promise you, it makes business so easy. And you're not running around looking for leads, doing quotes, doing proposals, doing pitches, networking everywhere and anywhere, but you actually are delivering and working specifically with pitches because you know that these people have straight away come in for an opportunity.
And is that right? In turn, the florist can recommend the wedding cake and the printer.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then the florist is probably the wedding cake and the printer going to be later down. So it's an opportunity. In fact, joint ventures can work all the way around. And Karuna, that's a really great point. Thank you for endorsing that. That it really is an important part, referrals and creating the joint venture. Yeah. So more than just have referrals, I'm talking about creating strategic alliances. Awesome. So that you have a really amazing opportunity to work together with them.
Which I think you raised a good point about, because you know the joint venture, we don't think about it, but it is a really beautiful partnership for a win-win situation.
I think when we get into our business sector where we are thinking differently, or we are into win-win, we are creating much more bigger profits. And listen, it's regular profits. So that time's freed up. You know, we want to talk about freeing up Friday. This is how you're doing it. You're creating strategies that are making you more money. You're having more systems, and you're creating opportunities for business leads to come to you automatically. For the construction industry, I see joint ventures and strategic alliances being so easy because you work in that industry only, you work only in that sector. And you need to have a whole bunch of people that work together. It's very different to the florist. The florist can work independently, but you guys need to work all around you. So it's very easy to have these situations.
Absolutely.
In London, I put together a little mastermind for property people. And what they do is they're learning these business skills, but they're also sharing business ideas and business leads with each other because they've got to know each other, that relationship. And there's referral opportunities in each part. So look at the florist. The florist is now earning an additional £7,360 in annual revenue. These are ultra conservative numbers. But what this means is that if you started creating these sorts of strategic alliances and you knew this was bringing in extra business to you just from referrals, and you're also giving referrals. So remember, it's give and take at the same time. And you did this several times. I think in construction, the figures are a little bit larger. This is just a mere florist. You can significantly make a difference to your business in a major way. So here we go. Put this in your workbook. The secret to generating more leads: create multiple joint venture partners. Then rate the relevancy of this strategy to your business and your estimated proficiency to execute it successfully. We're about an hour through, so I'm gonna really shoot through the rest, and I make sure that I get the 5 strategies in for you.
Yes, we've got 25, like half an hour left. Also, Karuna says, very true. Referral works a lot for us as entrepreneur. I insist on that, in fact, as a mentor.
Absolutely, I picked up on that earlier, and it's really, really important, So we've talked about the 2 strategies. Anyone in chat that wants to talk about their sales conversion process? Anybody wants to put it in quickly for me in chat? So many of us maybe don't think about how you get the prospect to hand you their money, and why don't these prospects end up buying from them? This is something I really want some participation from, please, guys. Why do prospects not buy from you?
Okay, so let's see, guys. Why do prospects don't buy from you? Anything could be anything on the Q&A. I know it's always tricky to put you on spot, but anything obviously put on Q&A. We'll pick it up later.
It's an easy one. It's an easy one. It's an easy one. Okay. Most people are going to say price.
So we've got one coming. There's someone say, yeah, but put it on the Q&A. You can always put it on the Q&A, no problem. Just make sure everyone panelists, I think they can chat. So, right, I'll just make sure the chat is working now.
Thank you.
So you'll make sure you can put on Q&A or in chat. Okay. I can answer this. Why prospects don't buy from you? Is it not because we are clearer? I mean, we don't know. I mean, it's just we're not clear enough to the client. We're just confusing ourselves.
Well, most people say price.
Yes.
Most people say price. There's often Rajiv, there's a communication gap. And that's what I talk about. And great, I'm glad you said that, because often we haven't explained our process, and yes, we haven't met their pain points. If we meet their pain points, then very often we have given them the solution to that. But generally, most people will say it's price.
Okay, so I've got Ning. Yeah, I've got Ning from Singapore. Ning says trust. John says we have not met their needs because they don't know us. We have competitors doing the same thing, nothing new.
Yeah.
Client was not satisfied with our presentation. So I think one of the things, Shilpa, is like we know our product well, yeah, but we can't translate it or transmit it or disseminate it properly.
Okay. So this is where the research, when we're doing high-level consulting, when we are doing a very specific service, all of us have very specific services that we need to have precision for. And when we put that to our customer and we've done the research as to what their pain points are, we have provided immense value. Remember, I talked about innovation. You can still innovate in regulated industries as well, because at the end of the day, business is about showing people how brilliant you are and how brilliant your services and your firm is. And there's the opportunity there of making sure that the client is satisfied because you've done the research into what they want. You've actually met their pain points. and you've created a pitch which is hitting their problem pain points. How can they not buy it? And again, about that value. And what are areas that you can put a value on, guys? Anil, in your industry, where can we show value in the service provision? You talked about having 24/7 access. You talked about speed of presentation and speed of information, resources as a project manager. What else tends to happen?
Look, to me, the value which, 15 years ago, in fact, 16 years ago, what's that? 18 years ago when I was at university, my lecturer used to say to me, Anil, as a building surveyor, or as a project manager, or as a chartered surveyor, always remember you're selling your services through paper. You're not selling your product. So make sure whatever you're writing is of quality. There's no spelling mistake, grammatically correct. You've got your full stop. You've got your English pronunciation correct. Everything is right. So whatever you're selling services through inks and paper. Make sure you get it right. The rest will follow.
Yeah, really, really important, isn't it? That specification and quality, Lakshmi, really important. Karana has come through some really good points here on price. I agree on the price. Prospects tend to get scared when they hear a big amount. We normally speak in terms of a breakdown, still they think in terms of cost, not an investment. Guys, why do prospects get scared? Because they're comparing price with price. When you sell on value and you've created massive value in your business, so Anil already talked about having access to information, having speed of delivery, and not just saying it, but demonstrating that speed of delivery and providing software and systems, structures, and opportunities for your customers to work with you. It makes all the difference, doesn't it? And also, how is it that, let me just move along here.
And can I just also say, you talk about add value.
Yeah.
I'm a very kind person. And sometimes my kindness is taken as my weak point.
Yeah.
Because in construction or any other business, you've got to be aggressive, hard-nosed.
Yeah.
But to me, I think if anybody's kind, I mean, we've seen that many of time. If you go in a hospital and you've got a strong-headed attitude nurse, already you're having a bad service, So if someone come with you with the right attitude, with the right kindness, no matter how bad or how ill you are, you're already, 50% at ease by that person, like, 5-star service.
Yes, yeah. Very, very true. Very, very true. Very difficult to do in construction, but think about it. We've got a variety of businesses in the room today. How can you downsell? If someone declines your product or service, can you offer them an alternative at a lower price? Can you give them a little element of your service so you don't lose the client? Is there something else you can do with them? Can you bring in one of your strategic partners to work on the project if they haven't liked your pitch and your product? So the goal is to turn the prospect into a client. So not only realize some short-term financial benefits, but you gain the opportunity to do business with them again and in future. So a health club sells a 1-year gold membership, but the downsell is a 90-day health makeover membership or a 1-week trial. So it really makes a difference because it allows you to transact with your customer. So when you haven't had that sale, there's the opportunity of creating some form of a drip campaign. You guys don't have loads and loads of customers. You have a finite amount of customers. If they don't sell with you, is an opportunity of communicating them, sending something on a regular basis, which we call a drip campaign. We all see it in the commercial fields. When we sign up to something, we get a barrage of emails. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about creating value, a case study of a project that you've worked on that's going to be of value to your recipient, something new in the industry, a new opportunity or a law or a stature or something that's make a difference that you keep in touch with this person. Because guess what? Your customers are not doing this. They're not providing values to that 99% of business people that want to buy your services, that only 1% are in the market to buy. 99% of people that you interact with are not ready to buy. But how do you keep that relationship going? Because often in construction, what do? We're looking for the work, we're looking for pitches, and the time period is very long. But how do you make sure that you are the people that they come to straight away? See, remember I talked about the buyer's journey and touch points? 80% of all sales occur between the 5th and the 12th point of contact. And this is specifically knowing that you have a project live that people are working on. I'm going to run through these because we are short on time, and I am going to go straight to a sunroom I've been to.
So we've got 20 minutes left.
Yeah, this is
we'll take some question at 5, so give or take. We've got 20 minutes. I want to leave the 5 minutes for Q&A. Anything that's impactful, Shilpa, would be lovely.
Yeah, free tip. Make sure that you don't have too many slides on your PowerPoint in your pictures. Yeah,
but to me, Shilpa, this is a full work day, 1 full day workshop. What you've got there.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I normally do it in two hours, but I do it in person, so it's a little bit different. And thank you for the opportunity of helping you guys. I'm very happy to help any of you. Just find me on social media, and if I can delve deeper into your business, I'd be happy to do that.
I will share your email, Shilpa. I'll be sharing your email with everybody as well. So we'll make sure
thank you very much. So create a compelling offer, which we talked about. Make your project and your opportunity. And how do we convince clients to buy more from us? You know, that's actually an interesting one. So I don't know how it can happen to how you can make how you can increase the number of sales. And most business owners want to increase the number of sales by 30% or more. I can see hands going up. Yes, definitely. How can we do this through upselling? You know, and a cross-selling strategy works really well with your partners. Upselling offers a higher grade or quality or size of service than the customer may be interested in buying at the point when the customer is ready to buy. So when you go to buy a computer, they say, would you like a larger hard drive? Classic, it's from McDonald's. How many times do we go to McDonald's and say, would you like fries with that? Would you like to supersize your meal? So cross-selling works really magnificently well. And
plus also, Shilpa, McDonald's give us toys.
McDonald's give you what?
Toys. Kids.
Toys, exactly.
Toys for the kids.
Yeah, they give toys to the kids. 34% of prospects will buy additional products or services at the time of their original purchase. I bet, guys, you didn't know this. I didn't know that this would happen. I just want to jump really quickly. I'm conscious of time, and thank you for taking time to listen to me today. So implement a cross-sell strategy. I want to work on pricing because I know that how do we increase prices without losing any sales?
That's a good one. Perfect.
That's a good one for our section here. So I've been saying this all along, haven't I? The secret of increasing pricing is value. Customers don't shop value. What am I saying? Customers don't shop price. Customers shop value. Every time you're thinking about your business, how can you increase your value? Stop discounting. How often do we think, well, I want to go in with this pitch, this prospect, this proposition, because it's going to give me an opportunity to win the project, and I really want the project because I really need the money and I've got to pay the school fees. Stop discounting. And did you know that if you discount your price by a mere 10%, you have to sell 50% more just to break even? Think about the maths. I know it's complicated. Yeah. So increase the value that you offer. Yeah, in your business, it is keen and they do shop on price. But if you're giving more value, more service, and demonstrating that to your customers, they do know that they will buy you, because when everyone sells the same thing, what's a differentiating factor? It's price. Yes. You walk into a grocery store and there are 2 tables loaded with red delicious apples. The apples on both tables are identical, but one table is 50 cents per apple. The other is $1 per apple. which would you buy? You're going to buy the ones 50 cents because it's apples for apples. But if you've introduced a new value proposition that justifies paying the higher price, that maybe there's an orange with the apple, then you've got more value in what you offer. Or maybe you've got a bunch of oranges with the apple. So consider making opportunities for your buyers to bundle your service together, maybe with your strategic alliance. So they may seem that you're making more money, but you're giving more services.
And I think, Shilpa, you're right, because we tend often to think about readjusting the price when really we should be dig deeper in the value we're offering. I think you've hit it there. And try to explore as much as we can how we can double that value.
Yes, yes. I think that's really important. So I had a construction offer here, which was all about a sunroom and how they did it, but I think I'm going to skip that and go straight to questions with you, Anil.
Okay, so which do you have any last bits and pieces, or do you want to go to Q&A?
I know my last bits and pieces. I have an offer which I hope I can find, which was to show you guys. Oh, here's a copy of my book.
Shilpa, just quickly, you've got a book, right?
I've got a book. So can you see the copy?
Yes, want a copy, ask me, free bonus. Yes. So I'll get that through Amazon anyway.
Okay, yeah, and send it, let me know and I'll send it to you. I also have a free bonus where I talked about the conversion equation. Put your business through it, put your marketing through it, put your pitches, your elevator pitches through it. I think that can make a massive impact. Okay, right, let me stop sharing screen. We'll pick up some question. We'll just stop there. Okay, perfect. Right, let's get some questions in. Just quickly, I'll start, Shilpa, because obviously we've got 15 minutes and I think we're going to really enjoy this as we get colleagues to put questions in. How important is relationship in a business setup? To me, I've always worked on relationship with anything that goes with it, the soft skill, the EQ, everything else. Working with difficult clients, it's always difficult. But how important is that relationship? Maybe from your experience, a few words, please. I think relationships are the cornerstone of all business. We work very much on trust in the business world, and we work very much on who we know and quality of service provision. And I think it's so important to develop real, true relationships in business, which is why strategic relationships, which is why having a network group, having a peer marketing mastermind group really helps you, because when people trust you, they do business with you. But how can we make people trust us more? How can we create marketing that lets people trust us more? A lot of people do a lot of videos, which is information videos in the sphere of influence that you work in. It's project management, as if you're an architect, you're a quantity surveyor, you're a builder, you're a provider, and it's allowing people to increase that trust factor by 20%. And I talked about 5 strategies that I would go through, and I covered 3 of them. And the other 2 were just going more into the details of them, which are actually in your workbook. And by finishing that, you can actually put out your whole roadmap and have an opportunity to work for that. So It's absolutely paramountly important relationships, build them, nurture them, make them, find them, and use things like LinkedIn to actually seek those people that you want to work with, either sell with or be introduced into the areas that you want to work with, and create relationships with them. If they don't become a connector with you, comment on their posts, go to their seminars, their webinars, find out where they work, find a way of creating 10 people that you want to work with, that you can have this relationship with, because it will change your business and your life completely. Wow, fantastic. You talk about, Bianca talk about networking, and your networking is your net worth. How true is that? I think networking is really important, but what's happened is over the years, we've got so many opportunities to network, and Zoom allowed this to go around the world, and we have all these connections. But what is the value of the connection? So I only think you can only have 10 people that you can do massive business with anytime. So when you find these 10 people, make sure that you have these deeper relationships. Networking is important, but are we getting in front of the right people that we want to speak to? I don't know if you have this in Mauritius, but we have specific property networks because the property industry has become so massive. So we have specific property networks where you are going to meet everyone that you know. And then you have silos within there where you have construction, where you have architects and service providers. And I think it's really important to be able to go to those areas so that your networking is quite relevant.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to ask you a question on business plan. So we normally struggle. You're putting a new product in, or you venturing on a new business. Business plan has always been a headache. Lots of writing to present to the bank for, like, for some sort of some sort of learning things. What's your advice on business plan? A few words on that, please.
I think a business plan is essential, but I think we get so stuck up. Thank you, Ajay. I think we get so stuck up on making it 27 pages, having graphs, having information on there. If you Google anywhere, you will find something called a one-page business plan, which is your strategy, your mission, where are you going? What are your goals? What are your milestones? How are you going to make an opportunity to present to the bank for finance? If you're looking for investment, if you're looking for a joint venture opportunity, what is it they want? Again, find the pain points and make it specific. You can actually say everything you ever want on one piece of paper. That's what I think. I'm a fan of brevity, and I think life is always about two things anyway. One's time, the other's money. That's, I think, the basis of time. And
it's ABC, isn't it? Accuracy, brevity, and clarity. ABC, yes. Accuracy, yes. Brevity, and clarity. I think that's key, right? Because we tend to write lots of words on an email when nobody reads it because our attention spans is getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, absolutely. The more brief you are, the more you meet the pain points, the more you show innovation, the more you show that you are the market dominating position, you are the best, and you do that through all these different areas that I've talked about. The more you have time to do things in your life, and the more opportunities you have to make more profit. Perfect.
Just quick one. I've got another question for you, where you talked about, when you started, you talk about we all work, but also there's life after work. So we've got family, kids, and sometimes many people after 10 years of 24/7 working, they do regret of having spent so much time when the kids have grown and they miss those cute little moments. Maybe, Shilpa, from yourself, some word of wisdom to us that work is work, nobody's indispensable, so a few words on that based on your experience as to why we need to keep those Friday free where we can.
I'm not a good person to ask this question because I've spent my life working 24/7.
Sure. What's your regrets?
I burnt out. I didn't have children because I was too busy building businesses and not building babies. So I'm not a good person to ask, but it's something I have a lot of experience in. And I think we really need to understand systems, structures, and what our goals are in life and work towards them clearly. So as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we've always got things to do. But it can take over your life completely. Be very structured in that and find the areas that you can make profit. So you're happy that you're making profit. As business owners, we're often very ambitious and we always want to make more. That's fine. That's the time that you can spend. But when you have that boundary and that balance and you have a hard stop. So after my burnout, I had to stop working so hard. I stop at 6 o'clock.
When you say burnt out, for us, could you please explain a bit more we could be relating to you. What is burnt out? What is burnt out? Is it depression, anxiety? You just had enough? And you just said, look, I don't want to do this more. I just had enough.
Had enough, working way too hard, not taking care of yourself, very stressed, anxiety. When you have a week where you work so much, imagine having a long period of that and you just haven't taken care of yourself. So I think it's really important that individuals, we understand our mental health, We understand that we take care of ourselves. We have compassion that we're doing the best we can whenever we are. And when you feel stressed, anxious, take a walk, stop working. You know, life is different now post-COVID. I certainly is here, Anil. Do you find in Mauritius that companies and work style are different? You guys have beaches everywhere, so you just go to the beach, don't you?
Yes, we do, but we do take it for granted. So, you know, many of you here watching, and me myself, I can count on my fingers how many times I've been to the beach, because we take it for granted. But I think we've got a question. I'll pick that up. We've only got 8 minutes left to conclude this webinar.
Okay.
I just wanted to touch on mental health for entrepreneur. Mental health is close to my chest, Shilpa, and many of you watching know as well. I've been through mental health myself. It's okay not to be okay. But what's your word there for mental health for entrepreneur, for business leaders, business managers? Few words there, Shilpa.
You see, Anil, mental health is something that people don't understand until they get there. But we've got so much awareness of it now that watch the symptoms. Absolutely watch what you're doing, how you're feeling. You know, be kind to yourself, guys. You know, really be kind to yourself. It's okay if you miss something, deadlines, if you don't work that extra 2 hours in the evening and you go for a walk or you go for a coffee for a friend. But take time, plan your life, make your life so that you know you have 20 hours in a week to get this work done. The other 20 hours you want to have fun. And that could be meetings. It could be working your business in a different manner. Business owners often overwork because they're so ambitious and they're so anxious to get the deals in and grow their business and make profit. And sometimes it's very realistic because they've got to put food on the table.
Yes, absolutely. I just picked up a question from Rajiv from India. Rajiv goes on to say, how important is patience in business? Because sometimes we are so erratic, impatient, we want to get the deal done and then upset the client. So how patient do we need to be?
I think patience is a life skill that we can all teach ourselves. And the biggest person to be patient with is yourself. Because if you're patient with yourself and you understand that things take time in life and you can be calm, collected, and grounded in life and business, you can give so much more to the world, yourself, your clients. And how do you work patience? That when you feel a sense of anxiety and a sense of moving things forward, and often as business owners, we're waiting for pitches to come back, and they never come back fast enough. And they always take ages to come back. Understand, give yourself a little bit more time, but always keep in touch with the client. Have a strategy for keeping in touch with the client. And when you have your first call, your second call, your third call, get the next one ready. Don't say, when they say, oh, we'll come back to you, well, I'm keeping a structure. So is it okay if I call you, I send you an email on this day? Keep a structure so that you're happy, you know that contact's going to happen. I think it's really, really important.
I think you've just hit it on the nail there in terms of having structure to the client. Is it okay for me to contact you in 2 weeks' time or in 3 weeks' time? I'm not going to bother you or pester you, but if you say to me, come back in 2 weeks' time, be more happy to follow up. I think Karuna says patience is the key. I have witnessed it with micro entrepreneur. So just quick one, guys. I'm just going to launch a quick survey. We've got 5 minutes left, and then I'll get back to Shilpa quickly. Let's see if this survey works. You will see, based on the presentation today, are you keen to have a great and smart business life? And I think you're just going to be genuine. What I've got here today for the 1 hour and 30 minutes definitely is going to pick down all these little nuggets. So I'd love to see, based on the presentation today, are you keen to have a great and smart business life? And I'm just going to end the poll now and then just pick up shortly. So I think we will see the result now, and I'm going to share the result with you. Shilpa, I think you can see on the scroll, 100% of you, a whopping 100%, is saying, yes, we definitely want a good life. We want a great life, as well as a smart life. What's your thought on this, Shilpa, today?
Why not? Why not enjoy life? We're on this earth to enjoy. Have great businesses, do what you want to do, make the impact you want in this world, but have experiences, you know, whatever those experiences are. Do you want to travel? we've got a different world at the moment now. Never have we had this opportunity. Do you remember when we first started working, Anna? You were in London, I think. We'd have to sit at your desk. You had a 9-to-5 position. Often that was 8 to 8 because of the workload we had. That's changed now because mental health is important. We're recognizing what we can do. So it's very, very important to do the best, but keep that balance and learn the strategies that you can implement into your business and your life to make that time shorter, so that you are doing things like Tim Ferriss talks about. He talks about 4-hour week, but even if you can do a 4-hour day, do all your work in those 4 hours. Be effective, be smart, learn productivity tools, be focused. When you're focused, intentional, lots happens. Lakshmi's asked tips to become a successful business person. I think the number one tip is make sure that you understand your target market and you understand what you're doing there. Learn everything there is about that. Be the best. I always talk about being the market dominating position. I've run 4 businesses, the 2 exits. How did I do that? I had to learn everything in there. That took up a lot of my time, but it's so essential that you do that and have belief in yourself. 97% of business owners talk about imposter syndrome. Why? Once you've done 1,000 hours of something, guess what? You're an expert. That's all it takes, 1,000 hours. So trust yourself, be patient with yourself, and give yourself the opportunity of the best ever.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes unfortunately left. I'm going to ask you a quick question, and this is my favorite topic right now, and it's kind of taking my life over. It's always been around my life. Why do we need to be kind? A good morning, a goodbye, a hello, a quick catch up. Be nice to people. Why do we need to be so aggressive? And when we have meetings, everybody's tense. Why do we need to have a sense of humor? Break the ice, some bit of a laugh. Why is it so important, Shilpa? Give me some wisdom on that, please.
You're talking to the wrong person. I'm an extrovert. I have a need to connect to every individual in the world. I think it gives me a sense of well-being. So on my way to work today, there was an old man. He must have been in his 90s cleaning his driveway. I don't know him. He doesn't know me, but I felt drawn to say good morning. Because often this man is probably not seeing anybody. He lived on his own. He's not seeing anyone in the world. And if I stop and say good morning, which people we don't have time for, and he said, who are you? I said, you don't know me. I'm just a neighbor walking by. Are you okay? And he told me his life history, how his wife had died. But I felt I made a difference in that man's life. And guess what? I learned so much about his world and his life. Kindness makes the world go round because we're individuals that have a need to connect. We all need to feel love. We all need to feel good feelings in our body. And how do we feel that? We're human beings. We're made up of cells and things. And it's in our DNA, I think, to connect. So when we are kind, we feel good. We get that good feeling. And as Trudy says, that compassion. And when we practice patience, compassion, self-love, love outwards, empathy, love to our competitors, we create a different way of being.
Okay, just quickly now, what's the best advice you got as a business leader, business coach?
Wow, best advice. Be very intentional in what you want to do, reach for the stars.
Wow.
There's nothing to stop you. I have been a minority Asian woman in a minority in England, and I have been an immigrant and a woman in business, and I've worked with property companies, and out of 100 people, 97 of them would be men, and I still succeeded.
Wow.
I've run 4 businesses in different areas.
Yes.
With 2 exits. So,
wow.
And that came about because I was intentional. I didn't give up. I learned, I listened. I have great relationships, a great network. I have a mastermind. I take on mentors. And when I have doubts and lack of self-belief, because we all do, get it out, find a solution to it.
And just finally, you wrote a book. I'm sure many of us one day will want to write a book. What prompted you to write a book? Why did you get that book out?
I spent so much of my life reading books, and I have so much information in here that I felt I had to share it. and also a lot of life experience. I've worked in 3 different continents, in 4 different sectors, that I wanted to share this, and especially now that we have this entrepreneurial world, everybody wants to run a business, and there's much more access to running businesses. You can sit in your bedroom and run a business. You know, when I started, I needed to have offices, I needed to have a PA, I needed to have staff, I needed to have accreditation. You don't need all of that today. You can literally start a business doing all sorts of stuff. And look at the property boom around the world. It's been massive.
Yeah. Okay, look, I feel like I'll be talking to you all night long. It's in the evening today, it's 8 p.m. I know many of you are between their dinner and this webinar. We've got Alan say, thank you, Shilpa. We've got also Prithvi, clear my vision, still got loads to learn. Wish we had more session. Joseph say, very refreshing and motivating talk. Dubiraj, thank you, Madam Shilpa. It has been a very informative session, and we look forward for a second session. We've also got Vimi, thank you, Shilpa, as well as Karina saying, I agree with your Shilpa, compassion. Look, Shilpa, I can't thank you enough today. Seriously, thanks a million to be here. And as you said, you're in London, we are in no man's land in Indian Ocean. We're a tiny island, and we're still reaching out to people like yourself. This is my 93rd webinar during COVID-19. It's been amazing, hours and hours spending to try to give back. You are part of it. And because of people like yourself, I get motivated to do more webinar and be able to share more as we go and enhance our skill as business leaders. So before we conclude, guys, just quickly, I would like to say, please send me an email and feedback on how you found our webinar today. 100% of you said you want to have a great life and smart life. Please, and your name when you email me, your full name for the certificate of attendance, as well as your feedback for Shilpa. Shilpa, final word from you before we conclude. I'm excited. I've learned a lot. I know this webinar has been going up almost a year and a half now since I wanted you to do the webinar. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully we can do something latter part of the year or next year. But what's your final word to Shilpa before we conclude?
I'd just like to extend my gratitude to you, Anil, for being such an amazing human being, for doing all of this for all of us. You've had some amazing sessions. You've come recommended to me. I'd like to thank all of the audience for listening and listening to me and sharing that time. And I just wish all of you lots of love and lots of happiness in life. And I think the world is there for us to have what we want in business and in life.
Wow. And Shilpa, you're thinking of coming to Mauritius as well?
I'm looking forward to coming to Mauritius. So let's do an in-person session.
All right, awesome. Okay, guys, on this great note, thank you much indeed. Thank you, Shilpa from London. It's a 3 hours gap, but we still did it. So thank you, everyone. Take care. A big wave, Shilpa. Thank you much indeed. Take care. Bye. Thank you. Okay.